we need to be also careful of the efficiency. Not all the big organisms live through that. Like you will see one of the examples. So some of these technologies that are helping us to go through this, like QLoRa and flash attention, the perspective. We don't want to drive our work just to make another large language model, even though we are thinking about AGI, which is going to be awesome, helping us to cure diseases and solve a lot of problems. But the reality is, we need to be better at building smaller, more efficient, and faster, more agile models. And it is going to be a crucial step towards AGI. Knowledge distillation, it is super important to build the smaller ones, right? And this distillation is actually one of the interesting ones. We can build the smaller models, learning from the bigger ones, without actually losing a lot of the capabilities and accuracy. And this will help us to recreate the smaller models from the bigger ones. We sometimes don't need to retrain and start from the scratch. The next one, obviously, autonomy. These models are getting better and better. They're better than us in many cases, right? Calculation, memory, and creating some art, text, they're better than human at this point. So just think about your Ferrari getting stuck behind the Toyota Yaris. We don't want to slow down these models. At some point, we need to let these models and AI to start making decisions and act. I know we are all talking about the human in the loop, on the loop, under the loop, whatever terminology that you have heard about. The reality is, because of the competition, we are not going to be keeping these models for very long behind us. In some certain cases, we might want to be, decision makers still in the long term. When it comes to human life or judgment or things like that, it is still a general best practice. The responsibility of AI is making our lives better. So you would like to make this AI to be faster, and AI agents are already doing it. Many agents are already making ads, doing negotiations better than us. And it's not about just action. They're learning by themselves. They're trying to find resources and get the best of the data that can make them trained on new information. So self-RAG is a great way to do that. And synthetic data, essentially, three things are making these models better. We have data, algorithm, and compute power, and essentially the power, the energy. So with efficiency, we're going to get better energy. With this automation, we are going to also generate data that will be used by AI. And you will think, is it going to be helpful? They're going to generate their own data and consume it. And then yes, the result, the research shows that it's actually going to be helpful for an AI model to generate data. And the same model would digest it and learn better from this. So it's a self-reflection. And it's going to be super helpful. Multimodality, it's obvious. I cannot imagine an AI that cannot see this word, cannot understand, cannot listen, right? So this is just pretty obvious, and AI is getting better and better. This is a point that we need to work on a lot more these days, because multimodality is the real key to AGI. Learning from this word, getting access to a lot of data that is not available in the text format. And you will see that image in there. This is probably something that you would easily recognize and count at your breakfast buffet. But believe me, many AI algorithms right now cannot count these fruits properly. Many LLMs have problems. And actually, good job, Alibaba QN, that does the great job. It's one of the algorithms, one of the two major LLMs that is able to do the counting properly. Alignment. Okay, this is the trustworthiness is something I added. You don't need it to achieve AGI. You can get AGI, but it's not aligned and you'll have the paperclip problem. That's not Clippy. Clippy was one of my favorite useless gadgets, but it's actually the paperclip, which is essentially a problem that might arise if the AGI is not aligned. And you all heard about it. But I'm going to talk about what we are doing in order to have more trustworthy AI. And first of all, we all know it's needed, right? We don't want to burn the house to get warm. We want to make sure it's aligned, it's following certain principles. So we started by Anthropic, the constitutional AI. We built a model to actually be on top of their long language model to help them to understand what is the outcome that you're expecting, and it will filter through the outcomes. But also a better one is a linear model, which is the one generated by Stanford. It's a model that they sort of train to learn the residuals between the outcomes that we expect and the ones that are coming out of the model. So it's really much similar to us humans. Part of our brain is thinking and coming up with ideas, and a lot of us will not actually do what comes to our mind. I mean, hopefully it doesn't happen because we're smarter than that. I mean, my brain might say that we should do the breakdance like the guys did in the beginning, but some part of my head, which is hopefully smarter, says, do not do this on the stage now. And I'm not acting on this. So AI needs to be exactly the same. And optimization, as I said, making AI faster, cheaper. It is happening right now. DeepSeek has done it. A lot of other models are now trying to do it very efficiently, building the model faster. And also, this one is specifically about the inference. You cannot have an AGI that costs millions of dollars to run. It is going to make imbalance in between companies and countries, which is not the best